Every time Samantha drove that old Toyota, she held her breath, hoping it would last one more day. Life hadn't been easy, and the car mirrored her own condition, worn down, pushed to its limit, tired but still moving forward. That morning began. Like many others, chaotic, rushed, burdened with exhaustion. She had overslept again, spilled cereal on the kitchen floor, lost her keys, and snapped at her 5-year-old son without meaning to. She felt the guilt already growing in her chest as she strapped him into his seat. With a kiss on his forehead and a forced smile, she dropped him off at daycare, whispering a quiet apology he didn't even ask for. She merged onto the highway with her coffee gone cold and the weight of everything pressing on her shoulders. The sky was overcast, the kind of gray that makes you forget what sunshine feels like. The wind whispered through the cracks in the vile window, and she turned up the heater even though it barely worked anymore. She was late for her second job again. The diner manager had already warned her once. One more tardy, he said, and she'd lose her shift. She pressed harder on the gas, urging the car forward with quiet prayers, though she wasn't sure anymore if anyone was listening. Her mother used to tell her to trust God, but that felt like a memory from another life. The car began to tremble. A soft knocking under the hood grew louder. Then, without warning, the engine gave out. No warning light. No time to react, just silence. The car coasted to the side of the road and stopped completely. Samantha gripped the wheel, heart racing, hands trembling. She turned the key, nothing. Not even a click. She tried again, still nothing. She looked around, no cars, no houses, just a stretch of empty road lined with leafless trees and the soft hum of winter wind. She checked her phone, 1% battery, no signal. Her breath caught in her throat. She tried not to panic. She sat still, hoping the car might somehow fix itself. She whispered a desperate please to no one in particular. The minutes passed like hours. She imagined her son waiting, the babysitter calling her phone, her manager sighing as he crossed her name off the schedule. The tears came before she could stop them. They slid down her cheeks, silent and hot, carving lines. Down her tired face. She rested her forehead against the steering wheel and let out a shaky breath. Then she heard it, a soft crunch of gravel under boots. She looked up quickly. A man was walking toward her. Older, worn clothes, weathered face. She couldn't tell where he had come from. There was no driveway, no parked car. Just him, walking like he had always meant to arrive. She rolled down the window halfway, heart pounding with both fear and relief. He stopped a few feet from her door and spoke gently. "Car trouble?" She nodded, unsure what to say. He didn't seem threatening. There was something calm in the way he stood, like the world didn't rush him the way it rushed her. "It just stopped," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. He didn't ask her to pop the hood. He didn't pull out tools or crouch to inspect anything. Instead, he stepped closer, placed a hand softly on the hood, and closed. His eyes, "Mind if I say a prayer?" She stared at him, surprised, unsure how to answer. But something about the moment, about him, softened her hesitation. She nodded. "Okay." He bowed his head. His voice was steady, low, almost like a lullaby. "Lord, you know this car, and you know this daughter of yours. She's tired, Lord, carrying too much, needing a reminder that you still show up. Breathe life into this engine and remind her she is never alone." Samantha felt the air still. The wind seemed to pause, the trees holding their breath. He stepped back and looked at her with a gentle smile. "Try it now." She reached for the key, heart heavy with doubt. But something inside her sparked, a small flicker of hope. She turned the key. The engine roared to life. She gasped. Her hand flew to her mouth. She looked up to thank him. But he wasn't there. The road stretched empty again. No footsteps. No retreating figure. Just silence. She stepped out, turned in circles, eyes scanning the trees. No trace. Her voice trembled. As she whispered, "Thank you." She got back in, still shaking, and drove forward, eyes wide, heart pounding. She made it to the diner. Her manager stared, ready to scold, but stopped short when he saw her face. He didn't say anything, just nodded. She worked her shift in a daze, playing the moment over and over in her mind. That night she knelt by her bed, something she hadn't done in years. She closed her eyes and whispered, "God, I don't know who that man was, but I think you sent him, and I think you've been here the whole time. I just forgot how to look." From that night on, she didn't become rich. The car still coughed, the bills still arrived, but something inside her was different. She noticed small things, a stranger holding a door, her son's laughter, the way the wind sometimes felt like a song. Faith didn't solve everything, but it gave her strength to keep going. Some days were harder than others, but she would remember the prayer, the stranger, the moment the impossible became real. And she would whisper again and again, in quiet places and loud storms, "I believe." If you've ever had a moment that felt like more than coincidence, maybe it wasn't. Maybe God sent someone just when you needed it most. Like this story? Like, share, and subscribe to Faith Light Stories. Your story matters, and someone needs to hear it.